You say and do nothing, you're actually taking years off of your children's life. What in the hell is wrong with these children? Or should I say, what is wrong with us? That we're not teaching them and we're not putting down the law that you don't disrespect your parents and you don't disrespect elders, because elders could be your parents. What in the hell is wrong with us that we allow children to be so damn disrespectful? Don't you understand this is one of the commandments that we say we believe? Honor your mother and your father, so your days will be long upon the land. And you allow your children to disrespect you? I work with children in the school system. I see it all the time. Unbelievable. If I even puffed or blinked wrong, that would have been my ass back in the day. And those of you who are in my generation, you know what I'm talking about. But how quickly some of us have forgotten. And then when an elder comes to you and tells you your child was disrespectful, you want to get in a shouting match or damn near fight them. Or some of the elders already know what your character is. They ain't even going to say anything to you because they know what your reaction is going to be. So why even say anything? I know the child is out of control. I seen him running across the street or doing something he wasn't supposed to do. I should correct him, but what good is it? His parents ain't going to listen anyway, and I don't want to hear their mouth. Thou shalt not kill. Well, America is the most murderous country on the face of this planet. World War I, World War II, the Mexican-American War. Thousands and millions of people murdered, and for what? The Trail of Tears, when they made Native Americans walk from areas like Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, clear out to the Midwest like Oklahoma, Arizona. Why do you think it's so many Indian reservations out there? And then infected their blankets with smallpox, which we know now is chemical and biological warfare. Thou shalt not kill? Really? Do you really believe in the 10 Commandments? Have you ever heard of the genocide of the Australian Aborigines? This didn't happen 600 years ago, 700 years ago, 900 years ago. Just happened 125 years ago in Australia with people who look like us. The British went into Australia, kind people who had their arms open, poisoned their water, raped the women and the children, told them that they got bored with hunting animals, so now they took on the sport of hunting humans, gave them a half-hour head start, already knew the layout of the land, and then hunted them down like animals and shot and killed them on sight. It's called the game. I'm going to say it again. Gave them a half-hour head start at gunpoint and said, run for your life. Caught up to them because they already knew what the land looked like and then killed them on spot. They even made a show mimicking this atrocity on one of my favorite shows, the original Incredible Hulk. You can look it up on YouTube. Go to Incredible Hulk, not the cartoon, but the original Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby. The show is called The Snare. S-N-A-R-E, The Snare. And it talks about, in this show, this episode of The Incredible Hulk, Bill Bixby, David Banner, you know, he's always getting into something. He's at an airport and his plane is delayed in Miami. This rich man who's psychotic lowers him back to his private island. He said, you can just stay there for the night and I'll fly you to where you need to go at no charge. David Banner always getting into something. He agrees. Goes back to this man's island. The man drugs him at the dinner table. He made dinner for him, put something in his drink, drugs him. When he wakes up, he's in a ditch. And it's a tape recording. And this man says to David Banner, I got bored with hunting animals, so now I took up the sport of hunting humans. And he gives him a half-hour head start, and he tries to hunt him down like an animal. But what he didn't know is he ran into the Incredible Hulk. But my point is, they got that idea, the Incredible Hulk, from What happened to the Australian Aborigines? The Europeans, the British going in there, hunting these people down like animals, giving them a half-hour head start and hunting them down. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. What about that commandment? These people are the biggest thieves on the face of the planet. Why are they in Afghanistan when Osama bin Laden has been dead for over 7-8 years, supposedly? They said they had to go get rid of him. Why are they still there? Can anyone answer that for me? Why do they still have army bases in Iraq when Saddam Hussein is gone? They said he was a menace. They're still in Afghanistan because of the poppy seeds there that produces heroin, so they can bring it here and goddamn dope up our people. That's why they're still there, because of the poppy seeds that produces pure heroin. And since we're on that topic of drugs, do you know a new report just came out that black people in the city of Philadelphia, which we're not far from, are dying more from drug overdose, particularly fentanyl, than they are from gun violence. I'm gonna say it again. It's a new report out that black people in Philadelphia are dying from drug overdose, in particularly fentanyl, more than gun violence. And we all know Philly is off the hook. Meek Mills and all them talking about it's the new Iraq, talking about Philly. Fentanyl. I'm a substance abuse counselor and a therapist. It's 50 times more lethal than morphine, which they give to people to kill pain, to reduce pain, especially if you're like a cancer patient. God bless anyone suffering from that. If it's on your fingertip, it can take you out, meaning the fentanyl. More black people dying from drug overdose than gun violence in the city of Philadelphia. This is by design. It's by design. Thou shalt not use the Lord's name in vain. We already talked about that. And again, the title of this topic is, does America really believe and practice the 10 Commandments? Shouldn't use the Lord's name in vain? Do you know every day of the week is named after, or quote unquote in honor of, a Greek god? Every month of the year is named after a Greek or Roman god. Monday, isn't today Monday? That means the moon. Sunday was yesterday, the god of the sun. Thursday, the god of thunder. Saturday, Centauria. And on and on and on. Shouldn't use his name in vain? Hear, O Israel, there's only one God. Well, I just named about 12 of them for you, that they put in front of us. The God of the sun. 12 months in a year. So that's 19 right there. Hear, O Israel, there's only one God, and I'm a jealous God? You can worship other gods just in your actions. You don't gotta bow down to something to be worshiping another god. Some of us put clothes and cars and material things before the Most High. Is that not putting something before the Most High? Hear, O Israel, there's only one God? Does America really believe and practice the 10 Commandments? Do they? The stealing and the murdering alone should answer that for you. We have to wake up and know what we're saying and have better understanding of terms that we use. This is the Hour of Power with Brother Sharif. This is not a religious class. Even though it may have a lace of spirituality in it, it's not a religious class. It's a channel designed to bring about social awareness and change, and to lift your mind, body, and soul, and to give you a different perspective on looking at things. And then I'll be done after this. A lot of times we repeat things and we don't even know what we're saying. And we use terms and we don't even know what we're saying. Now, this is a little graphic, but It is what it is. It's not a religious channel. For those of y'all who came up in the early 90s, do y'all remember the group H-Town? And bless the soul of the brother who used to be on that group. He had a car accident years ago. I don't know his name. But anyone out there listening, raise your hand or send me a message or something if you remember the R&B group back in the early 90s called H-Town. Those of y'all that are about my age, I ain't gonna say my age, y'all should remember them, H-Town. They, raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Because we may have some young people listening or looking on the replay. They may not be like, H-Town, who is that? All they know is Waka Flocka and Meek Mill and I don't know these people. H-Town, they had a hit song, if you look it up on YouTube, 10 million hits at least, called Knockin' the Boots. That was their hit song. Knocking the boots. Me, when I was in my spiritual and mental sleep and slumber, my silly ass was running around repeating that. Until an elder clicked me on and told me, watch what I say and understand what you're saying. Do you know, talking about how we repeat terms and phrases and we don't even know what we're saying. Do you know that in Europe, particularly Germany, well, let me back it up. Did you know that sheep, meaning the animal sheep, their vaginal walls and tissue are almost like that of a human female? The sheep, the animal, their vagina walls and inside tissue is like that almost of a woman. It almost feels the same. Not that I know by experience, just by studying. Do you know in Germany and in Europe, Europeans were having sex with sheep? Yes, it's called bestiality. If you go to the book of Leviticus, it tells you who and who not you should have sex with. You should not lay with your mother. You should not lay with your brother's wife. You should not lay with your father's wife, and on and on and on. They were having sex with sheep. And so the sheep, of course, the sheep didn't want this activity. So what they did, the sheep started kicking back to get them off of them. And sheep got them hard shoes, you know. They're not feet, but, and they were kicking. So them kicks hurt. So to soften the blow from them kicking when they was attempting to have sex with them, the Europeans and the Germans were putting soft boots on the sheep to soften the blow when they were kicking back, and that's where the term knocking boots came from. Did you know that? And then some of us, including myself, going around repeating that term. Just giving you a small but graphic example of you got to watch what you repeat. It's the truth. Some of us run around saying to other black people, oh, he's racist, or that's racist. It may be some people out here saying my channel and what I'm talking about is racist. Do you even know what you're saying? Do you even understand the definition? How can a black person be racist? How can black people be racist when racism in its true definition and meaning is someone that oppresses another people economically, politically, or socially? We don't have that kind of power and pull. Sorry to burst your bubble. You can be prejudiced, but we don't have the capability to be racist. Stop spreading that false narrative. They can be racist because they have the power and the ability to exercise their prejudice into racism, different levels. If we say, I can't stand that white boy over there, you could say it till you're blue in the face. It ain't nothing you can do about it. But if they say, I can't stand that nigger, they can actually put it into practice. You know how? They father or they uncle is the CEO of a company that you may try to get a job at. Or they father or brother or aunt may be able to block you from getting a car loan or a mortgage or whatever, socially, economically, politically, in one of those arenas. They can block you and oppress you. We see it all the time. That is true racism. So just because a black person may be bold